makes you even begin to think that there is something really, really wrong in the system. What is the threat to life? The life of 160 million Nigerians are threatened every day, insecurity and what have you. And then you have a situation where you're spending 255 million naira for 2 bulletproof cars for an individual. Two things are here. You're talking about the amount, you're talking about the cars. Like I've just said, I don't think it's justified to have those cars. Some figures have come out to say those cars were supposed to cost 75 million each, not what we have here. So somewhere along the line, whether it was inflated or not inflated, it still stands to be seen that it is not justified to get bulletproof cars for this ministry at this point in time, especially when NCA has, complained over time about funds in that sector.
Well, let's take a look at politics now. And the All Progressive Congress Governors Forum meeting in Abuja has been postponed. The governors' meeting was to have held in their newly opened office at the Sokoro district of Abuja, where its Director General, Mr. Salihu Lukman, and other members of staff have since assumed duty. The APC governors were expected to deliberate on dwindling oil revenue, which has led to the reduction of what each state gets from the Federation account. Now, some relief is finally on the way for traders at the polythene dealers market in Onitsha, Anambra State, whose shops were gutted by fire. The Labour Party candidate in the November the 16th Anambra governorship election, Ifeanyi Uba, who visited the market, has asked for details of all the traders involved, promising to help them get back on their feet. He also said that there must be a functional fire service in the area and a better industrial complex.
Traders in the polythene dealers market Awada layout in Onitsha, Anambra State will not forget in a hurry the fire that razed their shops worth several millions of naira and brought their lives almost to a halt. What may be consoling, however, is this visit by Labour Party candidate Ifeanyi Uba alongside his deputy to ascertain the level of damage done.
Jobless, almost hopeless.
This is one occurrence that should compel sympathy from any willing heart, but unfortunately, it's not so.
The state government has not come. It's not the fire service that visited here. So the state government has not. We've not seen them. There isn't any compensation coming from the government. They have never done anything.
We need to replan the whole scheme. We need to set up what we call the industrial complex, the way it is seen all over the world. If we have this kind of heavy industry in industrial complex, and we'll support them.
Commerce and trading is one of the mainstay of people from this state, and that should underscore the need to look at creative ways of harnessing them vis-a-vis a conducive environment. The Labour Party insists that it has the capacity to do this if voted into power come November the 16th.
Let's take a look at some legal matters now. And a federal high court sitting in Abuja has reserved judgment in the case against 3 Lebanese nationals accused of terrorism and illegal importation of arms and ammunition. At the resumed hearing today, the prosecutor urged the court to convict and sentence the accused persons for being members of a terrorist group known as Hezbollah. The defense counsel, Robert Clark, however, prayed the court to discountenance the submissions of the prosecutor on the grounds that Hezbollah is not known as a terrorist group by Nigerian law.
The arrival of the accused persons, Mustafa Fawaz Abdullah Tahini and Talal Ahmad Roda at the Federal High Court, signaled the commencement of final submissions before the court. It was a final exchange of legal fireworks as defense counsel Robert Clark, leading other senior advocates, adopted his written address and formulated 5 questions for the court to determine. These questions include whether the charge of conspiracy can be validly sustained, whether the accused persons can be tried in Abuja for weapons claimed to have been found in Kano, whether the mere possession of foreign currency is enough ground to accuse one of them of financing terrorism, and if the non-physical presentation of the said arms and ammunition can be said to be credible evidence to convict the accused persons.
We have argued that the law is on our side, that the federal government has not declared Hezbollah a terrorist organization. Therefore, no organization in Nigeria can charge them to court as belonging to an organization that has not been gazetted by Mr. President. In Boko Haram's case before the same court, the gazette was tendered to show that Boko Haram has been declared a terrorist. The prosecution has failed to produce any gazette, and therefore we are saying that in the absence of any gazette, the court has no jurisdiction to declare them as terrorists. And if they are not terrorists and they don't belong to it, then all the charges relating to terrorism has to fall.
The prosecutor, Simon Egede, who declined to speak to journalists after closing his case, told the court that sufficient evidence has been provided for the court to convict the accused persons for acts of terrorism, terrorism financing, and illegal importation of arms and ammunition. Following the conclusion of their defense, Justice Ademola Adeni reserved the judgment to a date to be communicated to all parties.
Well, let's take a quick break now. And experts say it will take over a decade to bridge the housing deficit in the country. Find out why when we return.
I am indomitable. I am indomitable. Indomitable.
You are the indomitable generation, and this Indomitables pack is for you.
We are indomitable, we got a great future. We are unstoppable, yes, we are indomitable. We are indomitable, we got great future. We are unstoppable, we are indomitable. We are indomitable, we got great future. We are unstoppable, we are indomitable.
Tasty nutrition, good for you.
Welcome back to News Track. All our top stories are on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. If you're on the go, then visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on an iPad, iPhone or BlackBerry, and you can also download the Channels TV app for Android and Nokia 920 from their respective stores. You can also be part of the News Now. Interact with Channel's Eyewitness feature on our Android and Windows 8 platforms. Now, if you have a picture or video to share with us, all you need to do is download the Channels TV Android application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and then follow the instructions to share your reports, your pictures and videos. Now, in what is clearly not good news for advocates of housing development in Nigeria, experts have said it will take the country over 17 years to bridge the housing deficit, and that's if 1 million housing units are constructed yearly. This was revealed at the Summit for National Housing and Slum Upgrading in Abuja. However, the Vice President, Namadi Sambo, who also attended the summit, gave the assurance that the federal government is developing a national strategy for mass housing delivery.
Recent statistics from the United Nations Habitat show that Nigeria's housing and urban development sector is still over 60% in slum condition. This is coupled with existing statistics that show a 17 million housing deficit in Nigeria as of 2012. This is a circumstance that has necessitated the convening of the National Summit on Housing and Slum Upgrading. Key players in the housing sector brainstormed on how to develop sustainable strategies for mass housing delivery and make slums a history in Nigeria.
It is important to note that while mass housing, provision and slum prevention are intertwined, the The eradication of slums cannot be realized through the building of houses alone. We therefore need